Yo, what's up, man? I'm at my office. Just take a look up there. I'm at my office on 233 Florida Road. So, yeah, man. I just saw a news headline. A news headline that the company Yoko, now about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, we made the decision to flip our business, to basically rebrand the agency. The agency was named Fluence. The agency is now named Tada, TDAA, the digital ad agency. So we made a decision to rebrand and flip our business completely. And what we did was, and which is one of the good things, is we threw our lot in. We pitched our tent with this company, Yoko. So every single client we deal with, we do business with, their payment engine right now is Yoko. For the simple reason that Yoko offers you a little card machine for 500 rands. Unlike what the banks are doing, then you have to pay hiring fees and rental fees. Yoko sells the card machine to you and you own it, basically. All the money that gets swiped on that card goes directly to Yoko and then into your account a day later. And they pay out every single day. So the only time you will not get paid by Yoko is on the first day you start swiping. But as of day 2, you get paid every single day. Every single transaction before 2 p.m. on that day gets paid out the very next day. So I saw the news headline that says that Yoko just got a 1.2 billion rands injection in investor funds. 1.2 billion. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, I wonder how many South Africans will get employed by a company like Yoko. But also the fact that in this turbulent economy of ours, it's energizing to see that a South African-born company can raise 1.2 billion rand. This is a private company. This company, okay, investors obviously own it, but it is still in private hands. This company is not on the stock market. There's no public shares traded, and yet they were able to raise. But it also says that the business is sound, financially sound. The business is well administered, but it also says that there's a lot of promise. The fact that they could actually get an investment of 1.2 billion rands. So coming back to South Africa, the fact that this is a South African company, it is not lost on me. It is not lost on me that Jacob Zuma was the president for 9 years of this country. 9 years. His presidency ended in 2018, and which means Cyril Ramaphosa is now the president for 3 years. So 9 and 3 is 12. So for 12 years, South Africa, I'm not even going to count Kgalema Motlanthe, I'm not going to count Mbeki, I'm not going to count Mandela. They're all liars, all of them. So for 12 years, these two guys who are still alive, Zuma and Ramaphosa, are promising us that the government will create jobs. I want to tell you today that these guys are a bunch of liars and that you should stop. If your children are at university or college or wherever they are right now, they're getting educated, we need to stop educating our children for a job. Education is in need of a massive shift right now. A huge shift. Education is in need of a paradigm shift. We need to stop having our children educated to go and get a job, man. Stop paying 100, 200,000 to educate our children so they can go sit in a cubicle at some corporation. Let's start educating our children to start their own businesses. That's really what we need to do. We have seen. Remember, there's a number of companies on the JSE. This is publicly traded companies. And the publicly traded companies, all they are in it for is to unlock shareholder value. That's all they want to do. They maximize profits and unlock shareholder value. So all they want to do is pay their shareholders. They don't give two hoots about how many South Africans they employ, how many people they employ, how many people they give jobs to, how many people's tables they put food on. They don't give a crap about that. To them, it's all about how much money can I put back in my own pocket at the end of the day. They're not interested in empowerment. They're not interested in upliftment. They are not interested in enablement. So what that says to us as civilians is we're basically on our own. private sector refuses. They don't want to create jobs because they'd rather automate, they'd rather invest in machinery that can do the jobs of 7 men. The government, the public sector is not interested in creating jobs either. They, man, it's not that they're not interested. They can't. They are incapacitated. I can almost say that this government is decapitated, economically speaking. They are unable to create jobs for your children and mine, man. I've got a daughter. I've got an 18-year-old who's right now is a first-year computer science student. A first-year computer science student at the University of Pretoria. Now I am, yes, she's in conventional education. Fortunately for me, my daughter's intelligent, so she managed to get the necessary bursaries to have everything covered. The only thing my wife and I take care of now is her groceries, really. We make sure she always has enough to eat, and you know, etc., etc. She's got some money to do the things that young people do. What I wanted to say was that my daughter, although she's in conventional education, I refuse to let her take up a job somewhere, maybe to get some work experience, yes. In fact, I believe that once she's graduated, she will probably get offered a job outside of this country. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm trying to say is our children should not be educated to go find themselves jobs, because there are no jobs. The only sector, here's the thing. I've told you that private sector are not interested in creating jobs. I told you that the public sector are completely incapacitated, decapitated. The public sector cannot create jobs, even if they wanted to. Jacob Zuma was president for 9 years, and for all of those 9 years he promised we will create jobs. I think in the 1994 elections, the ANC said jobs for all or something like that. Thabo Mbeki came in 1999 and he also said employment for everybody. Kgalema Motlanthe, he was a sitting duck. Then Zuma came in for 9 years, he promised jobs. You know the people that looted the other day for Jacob Zuma? They are all unemployed, all jobless. And these are the same people that he promised jobs for 9 whole years. And now we have a president as of 2018 who's also been promising, oh, government wants to create jobs. A government will create jobs. Government will not, man, now again, I'm saying this, it's not that government doesn't want to. Firstly, government is incapacitated. Firstly, you have ministers and senior director generals in positions that they have no business being in. These people are in these positions of power because of their allegiance to a political organization and not because of their ability to deliver within that particular portfolio. These people have no skills whatsoever. They don't belong in those ministerial positions. They don't. They should give these positions to the people that are able to deliver. In fact, even if they didn't have skills, they should give these portfolios to the people that have the political will to progress and to effect and to cause forward an upward movement and to drive progress. They should give these positions to those people and not to people who are just loyal to a political organization. It is ridiculous that we have people that can be made fun of on social media. A minister in government saying, sit down before you get into the taxi. You know, it's just ridiculous. And that is not, you know, English is not a sign of how intelligent you are. Your English is not English is just a language. But when something as simple as the fact that you can't sit down before you get into a taxi is spoken, man, that speaks volumes of the ability of these people in positions of power to grasp what it is they need to deliver on. I don't think any of the ministers in South Africa, man, need what it is to do. There's no terms of reference that is clearly understood, man. So let's just look at the Minister of Defense of this country. The Minister of Defense is a lady who is really a primary school teacher. Her education has equipped her to be a primary school teacher. Just imagine that for a moment. primary school and our security, our national security and defense. That is chalk and cheese. So all I'm trying to say is, man, if you are going to educate your children in the direction of starting their own entrepreneurial ventures. I don't care if your child is going to be an actuarial scientist or whether your child is training to be a marine biologist. Train your children or have them educated or try and somehow inculcate in them the mindset of going out there and creating your own job, creating your own business, creating your own income. Don't rely on anybody. The days of us relying on corporates to just suck us in. I remember when I was at university in my second year, 1996, Gavin Petersen first came from the Black Management Forum. Obviously, they were recruiting. Before you even got into management positions and stuff, you were still a BCom student. The BMF came recruiting already. Then came Sanlam, then came Santam, then came Old Mutual. And all of these guys, they want to recruit you while you are still a student. That's all part of their branding exercise. But the world has changed. There's no more Sanlams and Santams going to university because all of these people now have computer software that did the work. They used to need our children. They used to need people like myself to do for them. And yeah, I'm probably also to blame because I create websites now that does the work of some of the employees. We automate a lot of the things that people used to do in businesses. People used to type up spreadsheets, little spreadsheet databases with a name, email address, phone number, physical address, etc. We now have plug-ins that we put in a website. As soon as somebody completes a form on a website, it shoots it straight into a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet is housed inside a CRM, a customer relations management dashboard. So all of these things that people used to do are now done by software. It's done by machines. So we need to stop looking at government, stop looking at the private sector. The only sector in this country, I cannot speak for other countries. I'm not a citizen of another country. I'm a South African. The only sector in this country that can create jobs is the SMME sector, the small, medium and micro enterprise. Small, medium and micro enterprise sector. That is the only sector. And that is why I started out by talking about Yoko. Yoko started out as a small, tiny little business. And now they've just gotten 1.2 billion in investment. Yoko is by any stretch of the imagination no longer a micro enterprise. However, with that 1.2 billion, I'm sure there'll be some measure of employment. They need new people in different admin positions, in this position, in that position. Maybe a couple of computer programmers, maybe a couple of database administrators, etc. The article I just read on MoneyWeb says that they want to expand their financial ecosystem. So there's no way they can do that without bringing some people in. So there's some jobs that are going to be created there. So just like that, you never know that your child might be sitting on the concept for a new business. Your child might be the one right now that's going to start the next multi-billion rand operation in South Africa. So, man, in your educational endeavors, if your child is still at high school, your child is still at primary school, think about this right now. Think about this. Don't send your child to an educational institute or institute of higher learning to go and learn something or to go and get equipped just so that they can send their CV out and find a job. Let's equip, let's enable, let's empower our children for the entrepreneurial sector, because that is the only sector in this country that is able to create jobs for those that are not fortunate enough to get an education. Thanks so much for listening to me, man. That's just my little bit for today. I like to get that off my chest. I will probably be speaking to you every day on different topics, man. Some of them will intersect, overlap, a little bit of politics, a little bit of economics, a little bit of business, a little bit of entrepreneurship, etc., etc. But yes, do not educate your children to go and get a job.